Now that you have an idea on how to create a class, it's time to put your new skills to the test. I want you to define an RPG character class. The class name should be RPG character. It should have a character name as a string. Finally, create 3 instance variables for strength, dexterity, and constitution. These should all be of type int. Now comes the fun part. Create a method called rollStats. It should assign a random number between 3 to 18 for each instance variable. To do this, you need to import the math package. Then you call the nextInt method on the random object. I'll provide the code in the challenge slide. Finally, create another method called printStats that will print out the character stats. Now that's a lot of things to do, but you can do this. I know you can. So pause the video and try it out. If you get stuck, just wait a few seconds. I'll walk you through the solution. How'd that go? Granted, there was a lot of things I put on your plate, but this is just building on everything you've learned so far. We'll get started by defining our RPG character class. Now let's define our instance variables. We're setting some default values. If we don't, we'll get an error. You'll learn about that soon enough. For now, you'll just work with these. Now to generate the random number, we'll need to import the math library. Importing code allows us to access all the various functions and classes created by other developers. Now let's write our rollStats method. Because we aren't returning a value, we set the return type to be void. Then we call the nextInt method. We pass in 16, meaning the function will return from 0 to 15, after which we add 3, producing a random number from 3 to 18. Now let's write our printStats method. All this does is print out all the fields. Let's create an instance of our class. First, we'll create FizzBoss. Next, we'll assign him a name. Now we'll rollStats and then call printStats. Run the program. We get to see our character. Now, what if we confuse the order of rollStats and printStats? Let's do this now. We have no stats whatsoever. This means the caller of the code will need to know the proper order of calling methods. That's really not a good design. Rather, it'd be better for the stats to be automatically rolled when the character is created. We can actually do this like so. Now we can delete the rollStats call and just print out the results. Run the program. Everything works just like before, except we have a bit of code duplication, which isn't a good thing at all. A better solution is for the object to call the rollStats method when the object is created, and a good place for that is in the constructor. What's a constructor? Well, see me in the next episode, and you'll find out.